Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you how to balance creative expression with business performance in your business and your marketing, specifically in your content creation as an example, but you can apply this to pretty much anything you want. This is a question I hear a lot and I struggled with this too at some point. I couldn't figure out how do I create content that is both performing, on a business side, attracting buyers, but also feels authentic to me and real and where I am expressing my creativity all I want. And so I'm going to share with you what I learned and it worked for me and I hope it works for you too. Here's how it goes. Go to your calendar, create two separate blocks, one block called money making activities and one block called free creative session, whatever, call it something like that. In one block, which is the money making, the performance block, you are going to show up to that time in your calendar and you don't think at all about anything that doesn't have a direct impact on your business. So you're putting on your super logical hat and you're only thinking, does this have direct impact on my business? What's the ROI? Is this gonna make a difference for me, yes or no? And if it does, I do it. If it doesn't, I eliminate it. Now, when you're sitting in the other session, you're only thinking about creative expression. You're only thinking about curiosity. Does this make me feel alive? And you're not at all thinking about practicality. You're not thinking about business performance. You're not thinking about any of that. I'm not saying you have to publish any of these. I'm saying you just create the time and space in your calendar to practice these two sides of yourself. Because the truth is, there are two parts of you that are developing. One is the business person and the other one is the artist. When you're developing the business person, you're developing the skills and the mindset of somebody who is thinking about opportunities, who's thinking about, does this get me what I want? And who's thinking about money-making activities. And when you're developing the artist, you're developing the courage, the self-expression, the creativity, the aliveness of somebody who's just discovering their voice and developing it. Those two sides of you require time and practice to be developed. You don't just wake up one day and create a masterpiece that is also attracting 1 million views a second and $1 million a minute. And if that were to happen, it happens on the back of years of you practicing those two sides of yourself. Now, you don't have to wait years to see the results or the outcome, but what I'm saying is for people, when people end up creating things that are artistically incredible and also financially very, very successful, this is usually the result of a lot of practice in these two areas, the artist and the entrepreneur. And they are not mutually exclusive, but they both require that you create the time and space for them and making sure that you don't forget about each one. Because what happens, I think, for a lot of people is that when you're thinking about one thing, your mind is in another place. So you'd be, let's say in this example, you're creating a piece of content and you're thinking about outcome and is this gonna get me the results that I want? And then there's a voice in your head that's beating you up and saying, well, I never have fun and I never get to express myself and I never get to blah, blah, blah. And what about this? And what about that? And I want to be free and I want to... So you go do the other thing and then you start beating yourself up. It's like, no, you should be working. You should be serious. You should be doing business. What are you doing? You're an idiot or whatever else. The voice says to you. So these two, you have to let go of that guilt by making sure that these two parts are taken care of. And that happens when you create the time and space for them in your schedule. And when you do that, because you do that consistently over time, they will naturally merge. So because you became a better artist, next time when you're, let's say, writing a post or you're creating a video and you're talking about one of your programs without even knowing it, intuitively, that creative side of you is going to show up. Your unique voice, your expression, your own signature is going to be seen and felt in this other thing when you weren't even trying to create art, but art is going to peek through. And vice versa, when you're being creative without even knowing it, when you're creating something, let's say for fun, you will intuitively know if there's a tweak you could make that would make this actually commercially viable without changing the truth of the thing, without necessarily sacrificing the authenticity of your creation, because the truth is you still have the choice to say no. Just because you know something sells doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's good to develop these two sides of yourself. And the last thing I want to leave you with before I close this out is super, super important. And this is the base of everything. I tell all my clients this. They all had to do this while working with me, is a practice. When you get up, the first thing you do, the first 30 minutes, you connect to yourself, you connect your soul, you connect to, whatever you believe in. I don't care. But there's gotta be, if you don't believe in anything at all out there, you believe in yourself, your true self, connect your true self before you let other people's voices get inside your head. You need that space for yourself, the first 30 minutes. So whether that's just sitting, for me, it's a lot of times it's sitting outside and on the balcony, enjoying some sunlight, journaling, I like meditating. I like just sitting around and doing nothing, which is still something. I would go for a walk. I'd go sit in nature. It's something I do a lot. It's so nourishing for my soul. Yeah, do something that makes you feel alive every single day, first thing in the morning. So don't just wake up and jump into work. Don't just wake up and jump into chasing after things. Make sure you connect with yourself, because when you do that, both parts of you, the artist and the entrepreneur, will benefit from that. I promise you. Make that a practice. And then what I tell my clients is, after that 30 minutes, 90 minutes of deep focused work on the most, the thing that's most important to them that day. Making meaningful progress towards the things that matter to you. And if you want to have that clarity about what really matters to you, I have a gift for you. Go to the description or the comments under this video. I have a meditation called the Brand Essence Meditation. I highly recommend that you listen to this. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.